Hey, so the light's pretty bad. Let me see if it's better over here. Okay, so I'm kind of all washed out, but I'm gonna keep going anyway. I'm making this video to talk about a big mistake I made yesterday. You might know I'm in this mastermind group in Thailand called Get Shit Done, so we're kind of challenging ourselves to do some of the things we're more comfortable with, set big goals, take action, and for a variety of reasons, I set up some ads yesterday on Facebook ads. I set a really big budget, which was a mistake, and I got my targeting wrong. So I ended up spending a lot of money and not getting the results that I was excited about. And so I actually made a very similar mistake last month on AMS ads. So altogether, I've wasted like $1,000 on AMS ads and Facebook ads. So I want to talk about those mistakes I made, but even a little more interesting is the mindset. Because I'm not a complete beginner. I thought I kind of knew what I was doing, and I still made some really big mistakes. So on the one hand, I'm definitely kind of more of a careless person. You do need to be very careful about looking over the details, not making assumptions, not setting a big bid. But there's also this interesting thing with overconfidence, or I think with self-sabotage. So when you're frustrated or a little uncomfortable with something new, sometimes you can get to the point where you're just tired of it and you feel kind of exhausted and you're like, well, I just don't get this. I'm just gonna do it. I'm just gonna pull the trigger. And that's kind of what I did. I was feeling really tired yesterday. I wanted to get I had set like a group promise for my project here to get 1,000 leads to test out my funnels. So my goal was to get 1,000 leads, and I was running out of time. So I just wanted to get people in my funnel. The big mistake I made on Facebook, I set the wrong targeting to Europe. So because my ad is in English and because I'm really just targeting English writers who are interested in publishing a book, targeting Europe was a mistake. I also made the mistake, and this is something I know from cover design, but I wanted to try to do a cool Halloween thing. So it was like how to do book marketing without resorting to witchcraft or virgin sacrifice. And I had a really cool kind of witchy, spooky, magical Halloween style ad or ad copy or concept, and that's actually kind of cool. If that was showing to the right audience, if I had really screened them out well, that could have worked pretty well. So I don't want to just quit and give up, even though I've kind of overspent my budget already. But because I set Europe, it was targeting a lot of people. All my clicks were from Greece and Portugal and Italy, so they weren't really probably even reading the sales copy. They were just clicking on the image because it was a really cool image. So a couple big obvious things there. Don't target, someone who's not in your native language because they won't read the ad copy. I needed to be more careful with that. And also there was a mismatch between, I think a lot of people, it was actually most of my clicks were like 18 and 21, which is a little weird because I'm pretty sure I set it for 21 years old at least. But it seemed like probably it was getting on Instagram and a ton of kids were just clicking on the thing because it was a cool image, even if they didn't know what it was for, what it was advertising, or where it went to, which is why I got 3,000 clicks and only like 100 conversions. So I'm still 900 short from my goal. So that's pretty demotivating. But also, one thing that I talk about a lot with cover design is if you want to make it, like, you don't want to be too clever. You don't want to get carried away with like, oh, I'm so cool, I have this clever idea, I'm just going to run it because other people will like it. You want to be clear, not clever. So what I really need are very simple ads that only attract writers, that don't attract, people who like fiction stuff or Halloween stuff or urban fantasy, because they might mistake my ad for something else. I could have done that a little bit better with the targeting probably, which is interesting, but the point is, don't try to be too clever or try to hook their attention with something. It can work okay to be a little controversial or have something a little shocking or surprising, unexpected at least. And Facebook and Instagram are distraction platforms. I heard that this week. So you're distracting people who are already distracting. You just have to be more distracting than whatever else they were on the platform being distracted by, which is kind of an interesting way to think about it. So I got a lot of clicks because I had a cool image. It wasn't the right click, so I spent a lot of money on clicks that didn't convert to actual people in my funnel because they weren't interested in the opt-in page, which is another kind of interesting thing with ads. You kind of have to qualify your leads before they click on the ad, so you want to make sure you give enough information. And so I've seen some studies that say like longer sales copy, at least one full paragraph, a little more details, rather than just, a hook and click the free book. If they don't really know what they're going to get after they click, you'll get a lot of clicks that won't convert. And to make advertising profitable. This stuff doesn't work unless advertising is profitable. So you have to make sure that the leads that are paying for the clicks are also converting, and hopefully somebody's buying something. And there are lots of ways you can do that. I got a little off track. So one of the things that I would like to be doing, something that I should start doing, is retargeting. So rather than just pick an audience and try to show your ad to everybody, you want to put a pixel on your website so that you're just showing the ads to people who have already been on your website. They might be a little more familiar with you. They're probably also better, like if they were on my website for something, it was probably publishing or writing related, so that's a good opportunity for me to put some ad copy in front of them. So that's kind of what I'm trying out now. What I wanted to talk about, and I kind of got off topic, was, okay, I'll tell you the Amazon ads story first. So with Amazon ads, I made the same mistake a couple weeks ago. There's one keyword that I know is really popular, so I put that keyword in my ads. I set the budget high because I was like, let's just spend some money and get the visibility. So I got tons of visibility and a lot of clicks, but because that keyword wasn't actually, like, people who were interested in that keyword might like my books, but my book wasn't that keyword. It wasn't actually in that category. So I got a lot of clicks because it's a really hot keyword, and a lot of people saw my book, but I didn't convert very well because it wasn't what they were actually searching for. So that's kind of the danger of using popular keywords that don't apply to your book. It's also the danger of getting your targeting wrong on Facebook. The easy solution, obviously what I should have done and what I really suggest that you do, is set a really low budget. Whenever you start with advertising, start with like $1 a day, $2 a day. You won't get very much, but if you have time, you kind of want to slow play it, figure out what's the best ads. You can test 10 or 20 different ads at $1 a day, figure out which ones are getting clicked by your audience, which one's getting the most engagements and comments, and then you can slowly start scaling up. If something is working pretty well, and you know that they're going into your funnel, at least you're getting leads, hopefully you can warm them up or turn them into some kind of a sale or offer, which is something else I'm working on. That's a whole different thing, the conversion from opt-ins through to the sale with mostly email marketing, but it's another place where Facebook retargeting could be really good. But the point of this video, hopefully it's a little bit of a cautionary tale. Even if you're a complete beginner, or even if you already know what you're doing, you can make big mistakes. And generally, I think those things happen when you're already a little bit frustrated or tired, and when you feel yourself being like, well, screw it, I'm just going to do this thing. I think that could be self-sabotaging behavior, because if you're uncomfortable with something, you almost a little bit want to fail. You want to be like, I'm not going to be careful or pedantic because I don't even like to do this stuff, so I'm just going to like waste money because I don't really believe in it. I don't really believe that I'm capable of doing this. I don't believe it's going to work. And so when you waste a bunch of money and you lose a bunch, then it's easy to quit. So it's easy for me at this point to be like, well, I did Facebook ads and it didn't work for me. I lost a bunch of money, so I'm just not going to do it again. I'm not going to take the time to learn it or to figure it out. So you want to be careful against that. You want to be careful about not giving up due to a significant failure that you did to yourself on the eve of trying to learn something new. Learning new things is always difficult with advertising. One of my friends here says, like, the people, you need to be willing to kind of lose the money, to hit the pain points, to go through that, because the only way to really get good at something is to do it badly for a while, to struggle for a while. So when you start advertising, it's likely that you're going to lose money and your ads aren't going to convert for a while, and then you make mistakes and you get better, and it has to be a painful enough mistake for you not to make that mistake again. So even though I had already made this mistake a couple weeks ago, I kind of laughed it off and I'm like, well, that's, who cares, I won't do that again. And then I basically made the same mistake yesterday. So when you find yourself continuously making the same mistakes, that's probably an indication of a personal psychological barrier to the thing that you're trying to achieve, which means subconsciously you may be sabotaging yourself because you don't feel comfortable doing the new task that you're trying to achieve. And the people who succeed are going to become comfortable with the new thing. So what I should have done is, spend $1 or $2 a day. I didn't want to spend time in the ads manager. I wanted to go to bed and just be done with it. I also didn't want to wait weeks and weeks to kind of figure stuff out because I didn't think that was the best use of my time. That's why most people are going to fail, because they're going to make big decisions. They're going to throw money away, it's not going to work. There's actually a lot of room for success because the people who are willing to be uncomfortable for a while, for a long period of time, it takes at least a month to get pretty good at something with like daily practice. So you need to go into your Facebook ads boards for 20 minutes a day, for a month, just so that you feel comfortable with the new technology or the new software or whatever. There's not really a learning curve, and you can't just throw money at the problem. It really does take the time to learn the thing. So not necessarily just about advertising, but I think in anything there's always something that if you feel like you need to know it or you want to learn it but you're a little uncomfortable doing the thing. For me, I know that ads is the easiest way for me to scale my business at this point. I'm relying on organic traffic and content marketing for many years, and this is kind of like the easy win as long as I can figure it out. So part of me is rebelling against it, part of me has been resisting it for a long time, and I think that's partly why I feel so emotionally drained when I put my ads out there, just because I don't really want to be showing myself to strangers that way. I'd rather kind of invite them into my den and have them get to know me on a more personal level. But so now that I've hit several major setbacks and made some really big mistakes, my challenge at this point is to keep doing it anyway. I don't have to spend as much money. I can set all my bids down to $20 a day instead of $200, which was ridiculous. I was just trying to hit my 1,000 leads goal, which was also kind of stupid. On the one hand, you want to give yourself big goals and hard deadlines and external motivation and validation. You want to put yourself in challenging, environments or communities that push you to do the things you've been resisting. I think that's what I've gotten out of this week. So it is important just to do it, even if you're gonna fail, even if it's gonna be painful. That's the first step. The first step is failure. Embracing failure, being okay with discomfort, being uncomfortable, and not trying to. I've talked with other people here who lost a bunch of money on Facebook ads this week too, and the reason is because we don't know what we're doing and we're just trying it out for the first time. So they're dealing with some of the same issues of resistance and frustration, but it's also unrealistic to expect that we will just be pros at Facebook ads and run profitable Facebook ads like the first day that we set them up. Of course, that's not going to happen. So when you feel demotivated because your ads aren't working, if you feel uncomfortable doing something new that's challenging to you, those are necessary steps to getting towards mastery. So I need to continue with these ads and figure out what went wrong and fix the targeting and the marketing, which is what I'm going to do next month in November. So rather than just trying to blow a bunch of money at once, I'm going to set smaller daily budgets. I'm actually going to be going in every day, getting used to the platform, figuring out what's working and not working, tightening my targeting. So the main thing is this isn't something you want to do for your business once and just try it out and lose a bunch of money. You want to develop the skill. You could hire someone to do ads for you, but if you're self-publishing, you really kind of got to figure them out yourself. I don't think there's anybody else who can manage your ads for you unless you have a super converting product already and your book is selling gangbusters. That's really unlikely. If so, congratulations if that's you. But most of us have products that aren't really converting that well. So the profit margin is really important, and we need to monitor our own ads. It is worth learning. There's courses. Mark Dawson has a course on ads. Dave Chesson of Kindlepreneur has a free course on Amazon ads and Facebook ads, I believe. There's definitely resources out there for you to learn. But I just wanted to say in this video, like the two things, of course, start with small budgets, but also embrace discomfort and be aware of self-sabotaging behavior, like spending too much too quickly because you want to fail, because you actually don't want to be doing this new thing at all anyway, and you want to just be like, well, I tried Facebook ads, it didn't work for me, and just not believe in it. All of these tactics can totally work if you put in the time, if you have a product that converts. If you're doing ads to a page and it's not converting at all, whether a lead magnet page or an Amazon page, that just means you don't have the conversion. If you're sending the right people to the right offer, your conversion should be pretty good. With cold traffic, it's always going to be a lot lower, which is why some people, they will boost a content page. Like if you had a free chapter of your book on your website and you were sending people to that page first, if you send them to a content page where they get value first, and then you have a content upgrade at the end where they can opt into your list, then you can retarget those people that you sent to the free content, and that opt-in offer is going to convert a little bit better. So that's a little bit more advanced. I don't feel like I'm an expert in advertising at all, but I'm getting to the point where I'll probably depend a lot on advertising more than the content marketing stuff that I've been doing, because it is actually, it's a lot easier to scale quickly or to do the targeting right once you figure it out. So this is definitely something that I'm invested in learning and doing better. I'm really excited about figuring that out. If you have tips or questions for me, you can put them down in the comments. Thanks, bye-bye.